Bobby's Trollpasta. Episode 1, Buses Suck.
Hello, my name is Randy. I am a survivor of a demon attack. Yes, you read correctly. A demon attack. Let me explain. It all started when she got on board my Greyhound bus. She was tall, blonde, busty, and wearing all leather, right down to her knee-high pumps. The studs on her eyes said trouble, and the one on her tongue, something she casually flashed my direction, told me she was dangerous. She took the pair of empty seats next to mine and I could feel her looking over toward me periodically. I didn't dare look her way. She smelled of roses and incense, the telltale scent of a succubus. Although I tried my best, I could not stave off sleep forever. This connection was just another part in what had already been 20 sleepless, and otherwise uneventful, hours of busing. I awoke to find her undressing me, bending forward, to try and, well, all I will say is suck the life from me in a manner most fitting of a demoness that preys on sexual energy. Like I said, I am a survivor of a demon attack. I won't go into detail as to how I managed to escape that encounter with my life, but I will say this, never before have I been so glad to have had to pee.
Bobby's Trollpasta. Episode 2, Hyperrealistic.
One hyper-realistic morning, I opened my hyper-realistic eyes, only to find that my hyper-realistic sheets had been torn off my hyper-realistic bed and strewn about my hyper-realistic room. I decided, with my hyper-realistic brain, to jump out of my hyper-realistic bed to find the cause of this, only to notice that, when my hyper-realistic feet touched the hyper-realistic carpet, it was damp. Looking down with my hyper-realistic eyes, I saw that it was covered in hyper-realistic blood. I opened my hyper-realistic mouth to scream, but hyper-realistic blood started to pour out, and my hyper-realistic eyes became filled with hyper-realistic blood tears. Due to a massive loss of hyper-realistic blood, I died, and then a hyper-realistic skeleton popped out.
Bobby's Trollpasta. Episode 3, Who Was Conversing With Me in the Cellular Phone.
I was sharing a passionate kiss with my romantic interest, when my cellular phone alerted me that someone wished to converse with me. The man on the phone inquired as to what I was engaging in with his daughter.
If her father is dead, then who was conversing with me on the cellular phone?
And then a human skeletal structure appeared.
Bobby's Trollpasta. Episode 4, The Mailbox.
There's a mailbox somewhere in the city which can solve your direst problems. Which city? That depends on who you ask. There may even be more than one, who knows. Anyway, this mailbox isn't emptied anymore, the mail service has completely forgotten about it. But it clings on. It is located in some relatively unlikely place so you won't spot it immediately. Mail you put inside it won't go anywhere, but the box is special. Write a letter about your most pressing problems to the persons in charge of dealing with it. Write to your significant other, your boss, the IRS, and get it all off your chest. Ride yourself into deep shit with that letter. You'll see that the problem will dissolve soon, in some way you hadn't thought likely. The snag of course is that you can't really be sure whether you have found the right mailbox until you try it. And if you haven't, things are going to get much worse once your letter gets delivered.
Bobby's Trollpasta. Episode 5, Final Episode, Old News. It's the apocalypse, peep!
Yelled Jacob as an explosion lit the skies. Downtown, which was close to Jacob, was suddenly and violently filled with screams and bright explosions. Already having flashbacks to World War II, Jacob began to panic even more when he saw people shambling about, going to and from the location of the explosions. Pete, his loyal old dog, growled feebly at the people passing by. They appeared to be walking corpses, and this became clear to Jacob after another bright explosion lit the area enough for his old eyes to see clear enough. Jacob turned for his door and yanked Pete's collar. The old hound went tumbling in with Jacob as he slammed the door shut and went about setting the various locks in his house. After securely locking down his house and setting in place his window bars, he got up the nerve to take a peek outside. Out there, the sky flashed with explosions that rocked his house. Suddenly, a face popped up right in front of him. Startled, he fell backwards and onto his coffee table.
I know you in there, old man.
The person outside groaned. From the lighting inside his house, he could see the burn marks and missing flesh on the person's face. Shouting wildly, he hid the lights and ran to his bedroom, which was upstairs. Pete was right behind him. The man outside banged on his door. He groaned in a dead voice. After a few breathless minutes, the banging stopped and Jacob figured the man would bring a whole horde of his undead friends back to get him. He reached into his dresser drawer and moved away his socks, retrieving a pistol.
They've been saying the zombie apocalypse was coming. Pete, I read it on some sites. Now it's true. I am sorry, old boy,
he said, aiming the gun at his lifelong companion, curled up on a pile of that week's newspapers. The dog died with only a quiet whimper. Next, Jacob turned the gun on himself.
I planned for this day so carefully, but now they know I am in here. Damn it, Sally, I am coming to see you,
he said as he pulled the trigger. That was not his last thought, however. The very last thing that went through his mind in the last few moments while he was still alive and breathing was a headline on one of the newspapers under Pete.
Zombie costume party downtown Halloween night.